So in this video I want to show you a technique for better focus control and potentially some really neat depth of field effects. So if you take a look at the viewfinder here, we'll zoom in. This is the shot that I've been set up on my desk. Now, just to give you a sense of perspective, I'm going to zoom all the way out so you can see everything on there, or almost everything on there. There's the camera here, the toadstool, the Goomba, and Yoshi and Mario. So that's the setup on my desk, and we go back down to the camera here. Let's take a look at what we can do. I'll lock this shot down. Okay, so on our demonstration camera, if we start recording, okay, and let's say I want to change focus to the toadstool, touchscreen won't let me. So in order to change that, we're going to stop recording. Mario and the Goomba are clearly in focus in this shot, and the toadstool is slightly out of focus. So if we hit the menu button, go to camera and mic, and we go to spot meter and focus. Turn that on, and we'll switch that to auto. And this is going to give us a couple of cool features. So if it's not already in auto, you need to make the same adjustment. Make sure you tap auto and hit OK. Now, you notice the indicator was right here that said spot meter with an auto. And you notice right away that my focus from Mario adjusted. There are very few, if any, yellow highlights around Mario, but a ton around the toadstool. And you can see that very clearly. Okay, so if I hit record again, now we're focused on the mushroom. And when I tap the screen again, what it did was it allowed me to choose a point of focus, which is still that mushroom's eye. But we can take and we can choose over here. We say make the Goomba in focus. Notice the yellow shift subtly. And the toadstool became out of focus, the Goomba is in focus. Mario is more in focus, but if I really wanted to focus on Mario, tap and hold on Mario, bring up the focus right there, and the camera will adjust the focus for Mario, and notice the focus on the Goomba goes down. Okay? It's really subtle, but you can do some interesting things with this if you're clever and careful when you're doing these, that you don't bump the camera. So we can stop this, and now we've had our point of focus change, and even though the beeping is still on, thankfully when you touch the screens during this recording, it didn't do any of that. Alright, so to see this while it's not recording, we can tap and hold right here. Tap once, tap and hold to place that, and watch the focus shift over. Now there's also something very cool that happens when you do that. The camera will actually track focus on the toadstool's eyes. So I'm going to zoom this out a bit. And now you see, it'll be difficult to show you. Let's see if I move this, see the tracking point stays right where I left it, and the focus tends to stay there. This could be really useful if you had a subject who was moving in front of the lens. Okay, can you see that? Let's put the tracking point on the Goomba. Tap once to bring it up, tap again to move the point. And I want to move it over his eye. Eyes are great things to track because they are the window to the soul, and if you want anything in focus, you want the eyes. And as I move the camera, the focus point stays right on the Goomba. Zoom in, focus point, zoom out, stays there, tilt it left, tilt it right. Okay, so that's focusing. I wanted to point out one other thing. So, hands are off the camera, but watch, as I move the camera and I stop moving it, the image will continue to move ever so slightly. So if I go left, see it continue to move even though I stopped. So I'll indicate when I stop moving, stop, and it still continues. That is an artifact of the stabilization that's being applied. If you turn that off, you get less of that effect. So let's see what that looks like. Menu, camera and mic, scroll down. Must be up at the top. Steady shot is on. Okay, here it is. Steady shot, active. We turned it to standard, and watch the screen. It jumped a bit. Here we're zoomed in more. Zoomed in less. Didn't change. So there's not a difference between standard and off, except standard is going to be a little bit smoother. Off conveys any amount of jiggle that I provide and stops moving as soon as I do. Active, there's a swooshing motion. And that is very good for handheld. Either way, on handheld, I would want one of those on. On a tripod, however, as long as you're not zoomed in too far, generally you want it off. Alright, that's probably enough camera work and techniques. We can go over some more throughout the semester, and if you have any questions.